today. Sergio Masida for the Italians is also just 19 years of age, a junior world champion 2 years ago. And Chana Toptas for Turkey means the Turks are also two-handed. And next up, the defending champion, Grodseff, who 2 years ago won the title with 133 kilos in the snatch, 153 in the clean and jerk, 286. And this is Shota Mishvelidze, the man who just weighed in right on the limit. Well, I'm David Goldstrom. Alongside is Michaela Ruiz, Commonwealth Games champion and European medalist. And Michaela, once again, a very, very tight affair. Not literally, but just if we take the totals that were entered amongst the finalists, a spread of only 8 kilos, which suggests every lift is going to count.
It certainly is, and we've got numerous lifters opening pretty much around the same weight, so it's going to be very, very close as we witness the best lifts here from the B group.
Germany to get us underway. Good fire from Simon Brandberger. Huber, I should say, the man who was best in the B group earlier on today. Not only best in the snatch, but also best in the clean and jerk.
That's right, a 145, which we're witnessing right now. He was under pressure, missed his first 2 attempts at this weight, then secured it on the 3rd. That brought him to a 272 total, and that is the weight that needs surpassing, which we expect to see fairly early on in this A category.
Yeah, so there are the opening attempts listed there for you in purple, and it will be Jon Mount for Germany who will get us underway. You can see he's got the lightest of the opening weights at 115 kilos. What I was going to say momentarily about Jon is he's got a personal best of 295, and these are the standards. So you can see here that at the senior level, those records have yet to be established. But at the under-23 level, well, Grodseff, the champion of 2 years ago at senior level, holds 2 of them. Grodseff 133, 155, 286 to make a note of. So almost set to go in this men's 61 kilo championship of Europe. 9 finalists to vie for medals in the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the overall. The man who's posted the highest total at 297 kilos, Ferdi Hardal of Turkey.
David, if I may interrupt, I think I've just witnessed the German coach going and changing his opener to 120. That's going to speed up the warm-ups for 1 or 2 of the other lifters, because there's a few lifters that are scheduled to come in at 120.
You're always allowed to interrupt, Michaela. You know that.
Well, I don't know if I'm right. I'm guessing at what I've just seen.
You know, it's in fact, Jon Mount is gone to 120, the same as Davide Ruiz of Italy. So I'm not quite sure who's going to come out first. It could be Ruiz of Italy to start the competition. Sergio Masida of Italy is also posted at 120. So already a little bit of gamesmanship going on here. Ruiz gone to 124, so it is Jon Mount, but 5 kilos better, which suggests that he means business and that the warm-up has gone decently.
Yeah, or that they're playing a little bit of tactics in the warm-up and entering a lower weight with every intention of going up. There's more to it than just lifting a bar. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with the coaches as well.
Well, he's got some very personal targets in mind, so this is a good opening weight for him, 120. If he gets this, nice platform to start with. German lifters have a particular style, don't they, Michaela?
They have a structure in place in Germany whereby you come through the youth ranks and into the junior ranks, and the coaches coach the same. They are in agreement with how things should be done technically, which is far from what happens in countries like the UK, where there is a lot of diversity around the way that coaches coach. As a result, we find that we have young lifters coming through the ranks these days with a lot of technical issues, and then when they get to the higher level, they spend a lot of time unpicking those problems. And it's a shame, because 20 years ago in the UK, we had a system in place where we were doing exactly what the Germans are doing, but powers that be, governing bodies, decide to make changes, and only now recently have we got that kind of structure in place. But yes, you'll see the Germans moving consistently, and they all lift very, very explosively. It's just been ingrained in them since they were young.
The other thing I noticed about them is also they're technically very strong, and over the years, one of the points that we've always picked up with the Germans is their lifters have decent longevity in the sport.
Because they're lifting safely and with technical proficiency. Get that bit right, learn the basics really, really well, and you can enjoy a long sport. I promise you, the lifters that throw the shoulders back, swing the bar, do suffer with backs, shoulders in the latter years, and generally have shorter careers. So if you want to enjoy the sport, not just weightlifting, CrossFit, any sport where you're benefiting and enjoying the Olympic lift, learn the basics well. And that's what I enjoy doing, is helping other people now to develop the technical side.
Second day and I'm back. I haven't actually asked you, how's your back?
So, yeah, I have a nasty back injury, and that's because of how I used to lift. And it was only because of the back injury that I was forced to make technical changes and improve. But yeah, I'm surviving, thank you very much. It's actually carrying my babies these days that plays havoc with the back.
So Ramini Shamilishvili of Georgia, 2 Georgians in the competition, 124 kilos on the bar. Now for him, this is pretty well starting on his personal best. 2 years since a major championship. Long time off a competition stage. Really nice to get one in.
And that's a good opener. As you said, very heavy. Why do the lifters keep wanting to go that way to come off the platform? They're missing the ramp. So many lifters have done this.
Well, there was a lot of talk. I'll tell you what it was, Michaela. There was a lot of talk because of COVID-19 about whether the entrance should be from one door and the exit from another to keep the segregation of the next lifter coming on whilst the last lifter goes off.
Difficult it's difficult, David. Yeah, sorry.
And that's why, well, it was cancelled, because it's very difficult for the coaches, very difficult for the lifters.
Yeah, you separate the lifter from the coach. Plus, if a lifter's potentially following themselves, they need to be ready to go. So you haven't got time to walk around a stage as big as this.
So Chana Toptas, junior world champion 2 years ago. So someone, I didn't see him in the junior world. So this is very interesting, certainly for me. And opening up here on 124 kilos. Just a kilo below his personal best.
Oh, nice little rip on the hand.
Well, the strength is there, no worries about that.
Yeah, it's just annoying when you tear a callus as well. It'll be all right. Just put a bit of chalk in it, block up the hole, stop it bleeding.
Unusual on a Helico bar, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's the technique, David. It's the yanking with the arms, the pulling with the arms. That's what risks a callus tearing. Yeah. If you have long, loose arms, then the power comes from the legs. There's no yanking, and you don't have that risk.
So. Well, his official personal best that I have is 123. That's on a competition platform, but he's got a personal best, which our colleagues from the German Federation have told us, of 126, so he still might get there.
Oof. That's clocked him all the way down.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Bruised pride, that's all.
Pity about that, actually, because I was looking for that to give him the stepping stone to go for that personal best. He still might, but it'll be a big leap if he does.
Yeah, clock on the back of the head by the bar and a smack on the back by the coach. Let's take a look. Just never at arm's length. That right arm just never locked.
So Channa out very quickly now to try and make amends. It's another thing that was being discussed, you know, was not to have a communal magnesium or chalk bin. Don't quite understand that.
Yeah, there's no reason why every lifter and coach cannot have their own tub of chalk that they carry with them, to be honest.
Well, that's what was supposed to happen.
Well, I'll let you have a word.
Okay, so he's on his way now.
Yeah, it was not the
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, it was not the ideal start that we wanted, but this was a much better lift. If you watch as he comes off the floor, you'll see slightly lopsided. Tells me he's either stronger on one leg or he's protecting maybe a previous injury. There's a bit of asymmetry, which explains the sideward step.
Well, we've already seen in the first few competitions of these championships how costly it is to miss that first attempt. In this case, it's the second attempt that was gone. 124 for Jon Mal, Germany. That's a real setback, you know.
Yeah, and you can see
he's much better than 120.
You can see the frustration there, David. This could be a number of issues causing this. One, the fact there's no crowd there to hype you up. There's nobody cheering you on, and that makes a big difference. Technically, not bad at all. Just never got the bar to arm's length. So clearly a problem with the leg power, leg strength, and I would suspect that he's had to cut weight here. He weighed in at 60.86, so only just making weight, as all of these lifters have done. Everybody here trains 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos over the weight category and then has to cut.
The reigning European junior champion won that title 2 years ago, but of course nothing happened last year. So Davide Ruiz for Italy. 125 to take an early lead. Oh, so close.
An easy miss is how you refer to that. Plenty strong enough, easily got the bar to arm's length, landed it and popped it down just as dynamically as it went up. Let's have a look. Sits back a little bit with his shoulders. Oh, wasn't far off.
No.
Davide Ruiz готовится.
So Sergio Masida, his Italian teammate, same weight. Interesting little tussle between the two Italians. Always important. You always want to be the number one. Oh. Strength, determination.
And functional stability. That bar was knocking him sideways, knocking him backwards. He had the control, the strength in the core and glutes to stabilize in the bottom position. What a fight. That is tough on the shoulders. In fact, it's tough on every part of the body.
Yeah, he's a baby in the sport. He's only 19. 2 years ago, he won the European Youth Championship. And as I said, he's only 19, so he's still in the junior ranks.
See how high, or should I say how low, the bar stays. That bar is barely coming above the waistband of these lifters. And a coaching cue that I use often is keep the bar low. It's not about how high you can get the bar. You don't need it high, because if you get it high and drop at speed, the bar's going to crash on top of you. It's about just getting enough height on the bar to drop under.
The loader's under strict instructions to make sure that the bar, the weights, and it should be also the platform clean between every lift. And this is Ruiz out sharply to try and level up with his teammate at 125. But it is his second go. Much better.
May well be regretting the one that got away. A wasted first attempt when you only have 3. It's not 3 at each weight, it's 3 in total. Sits into a very deep squat position. Small step forwards, that's fine. As long as he stays on that 4-meter platform, he'll be fine.
Of course, the thing we don't see very often is how much time and energy and effort has gone into coming out to take a first attempt at 125 kilos, given that you start with an empty bar. And backstage, what would you say? Getting ready for 120, how many warm-up lifts would you imagine he's taken already before he came out the first time?
Okay, so if you're starting at, say, 125 was the example you used, he'd probably warm up to maybe 120, even 122 in warm-up. So let's work backwards. Let's call it 122. Previous attempt, maybe 120, 115, maybe 110 or even 105, 95, probably down to maybe 75, 55. Bar. So you'd be looking at those kind of steps warming up. So if you do that in reverse now, and we'll be having somewhere between 7, 8, maybe 9 sets warming up to the starting weight.
Yeah, so when you double that up with clean and jerk, so 16, maybe up to 20, and then you add the competition lifts, 25 lifts, it's not just about what you see on the stage. Here's the defending champion. 128. He won the snatch, or he won the overall championship with a contribution of 133 2 years ago.
On his toes.
So 128 nips him into first place.
That's a look of relief as he comes off the platform. It looked pretty solid, but he was off balance in that bottom position. There, heels up. He stands up on his toes. He shook his head as he came off, knowing that he should have done better. I'm sure the next will be more improved.
Номер 6, Sergio Masida, готовится.
Ramini Shamelishvili. So he wants 128 kilos. Now, that graphic said that he would be first in the snatch. Now, we know that that's not correct because Lapsev of Belarus has just got to 128. So that's actually not a correct graphic. He would only go into second place unless he's put the bar up.
That's 28 on the bar.
Yeah. So this is for second place in the snatch.
Oh, God, dear me. Is anybody else sat on the edge of their sofa watching this?
Well, this is the thing you often see, isn't it, from the coaches in the corner, sort of bent half sideways, trying to lift or live the lift with their lifter.
I don't know what it is from a coaching angle, but you always turn your head sideways to look, and for some reason the lift looks better that way. I don't know.
It is slightly bizarre, isn't it?
You're going to have people watching back home now, just watching the coaches.
Just to say, Simon Brandhuber of Germany, who collected 127 kilos in the snatch phase in the B group, he's now obviously being surpassed by Lapsev, the defending champion from Belarus. Still Stilian Grodseff of Bulgaria, Ferdi Hardel of Turkey, and Shota Mishveridze of Georgia still to start. And this is Chana, 128. So just looking at the way this is going, this is very much for Chana an absolutely vital lift to keep him in contact with the competition and the field. 4 kilo increase, personal best by 3 kilos if he does it.
Неудачный подъем.
Interesting thing here, Michaela, we were talking about styles of training and everything else. If we see this on the replay, just watch how he's positioned when he addresses the bar. It's very Turkish.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of how the Turkish team lift. Shoulders very long way forwards of the bar as he comes off the floor, and then they swing their shoulders back to try and really lever the bar up. I prefer to see a positive leg drive and powerful peaches, powerful glutes to catapult the bar upwards, rather than a lean and risking injury in the lower back.
So Germany's Simon Brandhuber from the B group has already claimed a couple of members from the A group in terms of the first part of this competition. Now Shamalishvili, second to go at 128, to go into silver.
Lacking leg extension.
I think there is inevitably, Mikhailo, a consciousness about how close this field is together.
It's very close, David. We've still got 3 lifters yet to start, starting around the 129, 130 coming in now, and we've still got 3 lifters in the competition already on the same weight. So you've got 6 lifters here now fighting for just 3 medals, and you know there is pressure. The athletes will know this, or they'll sense that it's close. They might not know who's positioned where, only the coaches will know that, but there is definitely heightened pressure now.
Yeah, and 6 of these guys, of course, know each other very well from the previous European Championships. This is the appearance of Shota Mishvelidze, weighed in exactly at 61 kilos. How he did that, I'm not quite sure. The bar is at 129, so he's going for the outright lead. He was 5th 2 years ago in the European Championships, and this is 5 kilos up on what he achieved as a personal best in this particular discipline. There's too many errors.
Just looked a bit soft dropping underneath the bar. It wasn't the explosive catch that we need. On these kind of weights, you cannot approach it nicely. I don't want to see nice lifting, I want to see powerful lifting. It was just soft dropping under. You could see him riding it in. Very experienced lifter. He identified his dodgy elbow lock to the referees before he took the lift. He's got to commit and get underneath it.
So far, 7 failures versus 5 good lifts. Hopefully, things will pick up in a moment. Somebody needs to come out here and start to stamp their authority on this field. It's a great opportunity. Could be Stilian Grodseff of Bulgaria. Could be his turn. Bar at 130 kilos for Stilian. The Bulgarians at the moment at the top of the medal table with 5 golds, a silver and a bronze from previous competitions so far. So 130. So, some authority now, Michaela.
Some authority indeed. That was a fantastic opening lift. He seems to really have matured in his approach. Very experienced young lifter, if that's the right thing to say in the same sentence. Just seems to be more compact and more dynamic, more in control of his body compared to what I've seen of him in the past.
Turkey, and the second of their contenders, Ferdi Hardal, going for exactly the same weight, the bronze medalist 2 years ago. And again, immediately attempting a personal best by 3 kilos. So hopefully he's really tuned and fired up for this. And he is.
Oh, look at that pumped aggression.
That was quality.
It's just that internal drive, that internal focus. You know, these lifters walk onto the platform nicely, nice and calmly, but they are absolutely on fire inside, and that's what we want to see unleashed. As that bar passes the knees, the explosive leg power, explosive glutes to generate the upward float on the bar.
So 130 kilos here for Sergio Masida.
Подъем неудачный. Техническая ошибка.
So 2-1 against. If you watch the replay, his left elbow. Now right as we look at it. Oh, flicker. Hardly anything, but that's how strict the refereeing is. And it's good. You know, the rules are the rules. If you're going to say the arms have got to go to lock and stay there, then apply it. And that's what's being done here. I just really, really wish, David, that CrossFit would introduce the same rules as weightlifting. That's the only way to clean up the CrossFit technique, to make CrossFit technique become really good weightlifting technique. I'd love to see lifts refereed in the same way. I see a lot of lifts called snatches that are not snatches, and likewise on the clean and jerk.
Well, Masida followed by Ruiz. They're both in the junior ranks, so this 130 would represent a new European junior record in snatch if he manages to pick this up. So his teammate was close, but can this man really execute? Davide Ruiz. It's a bit of a stalemate in the competition at the moment. Grodseff of Bulgaria having taken his first attempt. 130, he leads from Ferdi Hardal. And the defending champion, Grodseff, who's also only taken one lift in third place.
Yeah, you see their shoulders are a long way back. He took huge amount of air time. Huge amount of time where he wasn't applying force to the platform. Big swing overhead. It's got to be more precise on these kind of weights at this kind of level.
Now, well, you see again they've got second in the snatch, but actually this 130, if he were to get it with Grodseff and Hardal already having done this, it would actually be third place. Nonetheless, the more important thing is getting the weight to keep himself in the competition. It's his last attempt at Masida. Both Italians left wanting.
Yeah, they generally come into a European Championships in great shape, but just not able to execute when it mattered. What a shame.
Yeah, it is, because the pair of them have only got 1 out of 3 each. You can see, actually, as you can see the explosive power he's got as he sort of leapt up in the air. Now, Shota Mishvelidze, the bar at 131. Incidentally, this is a guy who spent a few years off the stage. He was disqualified back in 2013 for a doping violation. So Shota. But by a kilo. goes into first place. It's going to be very interesting, isn't it, Michaela, when we see laid out before us what the new constitutional changes are going to be for this sport, about who in future can compete and who can stand for office.
Yeah, sure, anybody who's been involved in doping won't be allowed to. Simple as that, quite right.
Well, you and me both hope that that is exactly what is going to happen and there'll be no dilution, but politics is politics.
Oh, it's so frustrating, David. We just want a clean sport. Get rid of the cheats, slap them with a 10-year ban. That's good enough as life. That'll finish an athlete off. We do not want filth in this sport anymore. We want it cleaned up. We want to stay in the Olympic Games. We want to be a sport that people aspire to be involved in. And only by getting rid of some of those cheats in the officials as well is how we move it forwards.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just the athletes, it's also the administration that needs to be called to book.
Don't get me started on this subject now.
Let's concentrate on the defending champion. Well, that was his attempt to go into the lead. He'll have another go. But there are 3, possibly 4 men with lifts left here who can really pull away from the rest.
Well, he needs to stick a rocket where the sun doesn't shine if he's going to get that on a 3rd attempt. He's got the power, he's got the explosiveness, he needs to execute. He's a lifter under pressure.
So, Georgia by a kilo from Bulgaria. Turkey in bronze medal position at the moment. The defending champion only 4th. Now, what happens here? Because all his other main 3 rivals, the weights on the bar, Hardal of Turkey, 134. Grodseff, 133 of Bulgaria. And 136 for Mishvelidze of Georgia. So, seemingly, he's stuck in a situation where he's got to follow himself. There you have it on the left-hand side of your screen.
A bit of slapping, a bit of topotoment on the legs from the coach. That's just to fire the athlete up, try and generate some adrenaline. There is very little adrenaline to be gained from the crowd that doesn't exist at the moment. There's a whole lot of empty seats that face the lifters when they step onto the platform, so relying somewhat on the coach to help.
So, 3rd and final attempt on 132 to go into gold, at least for a moment.
Much better. Can he stay on balance?
Yeah, he really measured that so much better, Michaela, and he's got the 132. But of course, he hasn't got the advantage at halfway that he was looking for.
No, and having that advantage, you know, will be playing on his mind now. Sometimes the lifters at the halfway stage will take a look at the scoreboard just to see where they're at and to reflect. Some lifters just don't want to know and they let the coaches deal with everything and they just do the lifting. Personally, as a lifter, I like to know what was going on, but there were times when it's best just to focus on the game plan and stick to what I know that I could do. Some of these lifters will respond differently to coaching cues.
Yeah, for Lapsev, his clean and jerk is pretty decent, but it's not as potentially big as some of his rivals. Grodseff here, he's posted 155 for his opening clean and jerk, whereas Lapsev only 145. That's a 10-kilo difference, and it really will count, particularly if Stilian picks this up. Well, the Bulgarians, as I said, they've already got 5 gold medals. They could be on their way to a 6th.
How old is Stilian? I remember him as a youngster, as a kid, coming onto the platform in a European Championships. He was all gangly and long-limbed, whereas now he just looks, he's gone from boy to man, and he just looks so much more dynamic under the bar.
Well, he's only 21, and in 2019, of course, when he got the runners-up medal there, he was lifting at 67 kilos. So Ferdi Hordal, 135, no messing around now for him. He wants to get into the lead for Turkey. Grodseff leading for Bulgaria from Lapsev of Belarus. Mishvelidze still in the mix as well. 4 for 3 medals.
Well, that one sat him down.
Overthinking?
Sitting back. I think, do you know what? Actually, for people back home watching this and seeing a lifter of this quality sat on their butt, it just normalizes the sport. This happens at the highest levels. So for those of you back home trying to master the movements, don't think you'll ever master it. This is normal. You know, we have wobbles, we have hiccups. So when you're learning the movements, don't get frustrated with yourself if that happens. Just look and see what's happening here. Lifters are dropping the bar. That's okay.
Well, the defending champion's finished. He's lying in second place at the moment. That won't worry him too much, but Mishvelidze's got 1 attempt left, and so has Hordal, and so has Grodseff. So Stilian Grodseff, 134 was the previous successful lift. And Mishvelidze trying to take the lead away from him. More than double body weight. Weighed in at 61 kilos. This 135. Job done.
I sense he's a lifter that's a little frustrated after that first attempt. He's come out all guns blazing, and look at that, 129 fail, goes up to 131 regardless. That's a sign of a lifter with experience. Loose arms, explodes, jump and catch. Strong receiving position. That's the cue that I use, is jump and catch. You get to mid-thigh, use the legs. Don't try ripping it up with the upper body.
So now Ferdi, the bar still on 135. But of course, this is a 5 kilo increase yet again. Now, this will move him up from 4th to 3rd into the medals. So from that point of view, important, but actually getting the 5 kilos is even more important, to be honest. He's got a decent clean and jerk, Ferdi. So these 5 kilos are really, really important for him. Stay close. Be strong, but technically wrong.
Well, you look at the scoreboard and there are a lot of red. There's way too many red marks on there. There's a lot of shaking of the head as lifters are coming off the platform. It's just not happening today.
But it's interesting, you know, when I said a few moments ago, Mikhaila, that he's posted a 160 for his own opening clean and jerk, that's effectively, because of that failure, become 155. Because he can't count on being on terms to the same degree. Now, Stilian Grodseff, the last man in this first half of the competition, he's just put the bar up to 136, just the kilo that he needs to move from silver snatch to the winner, the champion of the snatch. And that's job done as well. And Bulgaria have got their 6th gold medal.
And David, what's most notable here, we've just highlighted all the reds on the scoreboard. There is only one lifter to get 3 out of 3, and there is the man in question, Stilian Grodseff, the gold medalist on the snatch, the most consistent lifter on the snatch.
А после рывка штанги двумя руками тройка лидеров выглядит таким образом.
Very, very nice, very smooth. Bar so close to the head as well. Good extension at the knee and the hip. I think the coaches are happy too.
27 lifts in the first half from our 9 contenders, 14 failures. Should be better. We were hoping it would be, but maybe the clean and jerk will be kinder to a lot of these aspirants. They're now going into a 10-minute interval just to confirm. Surely that's not right. Host venue for this year's European Weightlifting Championships in Moscow. Davide Ruiz, together with myself, David Goldstrom, looking forward to this second half of the competition. Mikhaila, all to play for, well, at least for 4 of them, Stilian Grodseff and Shota Mishvelidze, the defending champion Hernadz Lapsev of Belarus and Ferdi Hardal of Turkey. At the moment, 6 kilos between them, and it could go any which way.
It really could. Ferdi Hardal from Turkey, who's down in 4th place at the moment with a 130. He threw away that opportunity to give himself a real advantage. But he's got the heaviest starting weight on the clean and jerk at 160. So he may be able to pull back some of that deficit. And likewise, some of the others are going to be hanging on for dear life in the hope that he can't catch them.
But we start with the less experienced and the other Turkish candidate, Chana Toptas. Like quite a few of his rivals today, only 1 out of 3 with 124 kilos, 12 kilos down on the lead. Well, the total is achieved.
Something hasn't gone quite to plan. He posted a 145 as his opener. He's come down to 142 before the bar was loaded. So that's just a sign that the warm-up hasn't necessarily gone quite to plan. Remember, once the lifters post their opening weights, that's done a couple of hours before the competition starts at the weigh-in. They have 2 opportunities to change the weights, up or down, but it must be changed down before the bar is loaded to the weight in question. It's always a rising bar.
Let me just put that lift into perspective. In the B group earlier today, Simon Brandhuber of Germany, 145 kilos in the snatch, so that's 2 kilos more than Chana has just lifted, and he ended up with a total of 272, whereas Chana only has 266. So Chana needs to make all his lifts, otherwise he might be surpassed by the best man from the B group, and in ranking positions that could be expensive. Masida for Italy. Now the 2 Italians, like Chana, only made 1 out of 3. Masida, though, 125 kilos made. And he adds 145 to that score to go 270, but he's still short of Simon Brandhuber's B group total.
Now you see here, it looks a little bit wonky overhead. By that I mean body was shifted to one side. We need to head on to see this. Doesn't split too far forwards and too far back. This technique on the jerk, a very bent back leg, which tends to pull the hips behind the bar. Then we risk injury in the lower back. I prefer to keep the hips under the bar to protect the lower back.
So Chana with not much respite, coming out to add another 3 kilos to take him to 269. He's got a personal best total of 273 kilos. 3 years ago, he was the Youth Olympic Games silver medalist at 62 kilos. So there's a lot of young talent in this competition. It's not easy, is it, Mikhaila?
No, there's no messing around there between clean and jerk. He stands out of the clean and very quickly into the jerk. So long as the bar is momentarily paused on the shoulders, that's absolutely fine. And the reason he does that is to conserve energy. A lifter that holds the bar on the shoulders for a long time will be wasting a lot of energy. Let's have a look. Really good extension, stands strong out of the clean. And the jerk, short dip, explosive drive, and the feet move super fast into position.
I imagine that Simon Brandhuber might be watching this with some frustration, because it's always different and difficult, isn't it? You know, when you're actually in the live competition, and now you're seeing guys who are struggling to overtake you. Had you been in that competition, who knows how much further he might have gone.
David, who decides who goes into which category, the A and the B group?
It's all based on entry totals. But
no, who makes a decision? Is that you? No, you're right. It's based on the entry total they post. Some lifters post higher totals with the hope of getting into an A group. That's tactical as well.
So this is for the lead in the clean and jerk from Ramini Shamalashvili. Well, the clean and jerk is that much more forgiving, just as well, really.
Yeah, I mean, so far, so good. Commentator's fate now. That's 4 consecutive good lifts. But, David, I'm just reflecting on this, going back to what we're saying here, that the lifters that lifted in the B group, actually, I'd like to think of this competition, this European Championships, because there is no crowd, there are no spectators, therefore there is no electric atmosphere that you would often expect when watching an A group. It kind of levels everything out and makes it fair, because often if you're in a B group, there's no spectators anyway.
Okay, now it gets serious, because here's the defending champion who's in the bronze medal position, but kilos to make up here. And that's coming in at 148 kilos. 3 kilos up, but he knows that he had to start aggressively to try and put himself in with a shout of holding on to his title.
There's not much wrong with that lift. It really was a strong opener.
280 overall. He leads 148 in the clean and jerk, a kilo ahead of Shamalashvili of Georgia. But some way to go at the moment.
Davide Ruiz, Italy, first attempt.
Well, we're still with the men who only made one good attempt in the first half of the competition. This is the other Italian, Davide Ruiz. Now, he brings forward 125 kilos, the same as his teammate Masida, Sergio Masida, but he's opening up on 150 for 275, which would put him into overall silver, but the lead in the clean and jerk. So this is within his range. Good clean. Secures his total.
A lot of people watching at home probably think, wow, look at the speed on that. I hope my lifters are watching this. This is how fast we need to move under the bar. Some lifters I'm constantly telling to get quicker under the bar. This is what I mean. Speed, explosiveness.
Sergio Masida, Italy's next lifter.
Sergio Masida готовится к следующему весу.
So Chanatoptas now. Well, he struggled in the first half, but this is for 3 out of 3. Now, this is a 5-kilo increase. And, of course, if he does manage this, it'll take him to 274. And if he does get 274, it'll be a personal best. And it will also eclipse Simon Brandhuber from the B group, who totaled up 272. So, for many reasons, important. So,
I'm liking what I'm seeing, eh?
Yeah, something of a recovery, really.
Sergio Masida, Italy, second attempt.
It's nice that these lifters have put the snatches behind them and are coming out all guns blazing. There's very little wrong with these. Good drive to arm's length.
152.
It's just that relief when the lifter's given the down signal.
Now, Sergio Masida coming out for 151. Just looking at the standards now, he's in the junior ranks, Masida, only 19. And the junior European record, clean and jerk, is 152. This is 151. And he would have a third attempt as well.
Coaches need to be switched on at this time. We just saw a mad dash for the officials table there from one of the Georgian coaches to change the weights of their athlete.
Yeah, Masida's gone to 155. And Mishvalida of Georgia at the moment on 153. Ferdi Hardel of Turkey, that's still on 160, his entry to the competition.
Номер 8 Геннадий Лаптев, Беларусь. Вторая попытка.
So, the defending champion now at 154 because Mishvalidze went up to 155. Didn't hang about, and he's got those extra 6 kilos. Very important. You could see he knew exactly what he wanted, and he's delivered for himself there.
It's a big increase, 6 kilos from first to second. But it was an aggressive change or choice of weight and an aggressive lift. Precise, nice and straight on the dip and drive. Catapults the bar overhead.
But remember, it's all in the context. Remember, he started this clean and jerk phase 4 kilos behind Grodseff of Bulgaria. He had 132 at the halfway. Grodseff had 136. So although he's out earlier than Grodseff, getting kilos in the bank may pay well for him. And now this is Yon Mao. Now clearly coming out at 155, this I think is his strongest suit. He's got a personal best off the stage. Well, I haven't seen it, but 167, I understand from his coaches, is his personal best. So this could be quite a modest starter. So far, so good, Michaela. As you say, hopefully not the commentator's curse, but the hot streak is continuing.
It certainly is. We just saw there from Jean Mao the power jerk. We'll take a look. His levers suit him well for the clean and jerk. Not a huge distance for the bar to travel. Very fast dropping underneath, drives out aggressively. Now watch this one, the feet move out to the side. rather than forwards and backwards. This is the power jerk. Doesn't bother recovering the feet, doesn't need to. So long as the feet are in line, which they are, then that's absolutely fine.
Sergio Masida готовится.
So Misfelidze in the silver medal position at the halfway stage, only a kilo behind Grodseff. So now things are going to become crucial. This for 290 and the lead.
Подъем засчитан.
155 is change. Sergio
He gets the weight, but he,
second time.
for me, he's not a very elegant lifter, is he?
No, in comparison, it's in comparison to some of the lifters we've seen, it's like watching in slow motion. He needs to be a bit more explosive, but look, where he's lacking in the power to drive overhead, he drops under the bar, rides it in, albeit, but he holds it well overhead. Good stability in the shoulders.
So 155, if he gets this, it's a new junior European clean and jerk record for Sergio Masida. First part is good. Yes.
Подъем засчитан.
Well, that'll make up considerably for a disappointing first half.
That's a big increase, 145 to 155, 10 kilos up. The clean is easy. Looks to me like the jerk is where he's going to start to struggle. It's because he doesn't move his feet, leaves his hips behind the bar. How much further can he go?
Well, it's all very competitive in the clean and jerk. Jon Mao of Germany got to 155 first, so he's in gold medal position in the clean and jerk. But Misfelidze of Georgia leading overall with 290 at the moment, ahead of the defending champion Lapsev of Belarus, Tenus 286. So this is another big increase, 8 kilos for Shameleshvili. Well, what a difference, Mikhailo, we're seeing here. Less than 50% good lifts in the first half, but in the clean and jerk, so far so good.
You know the next lift is going to be a failure when you say that, but you're quite right, 100% success rate on the clean and jerk thus far, and it's great to see. This is what we want to see. We want to see lifters pushing, but now we're getting to the business end. Nearly all of the lifters have entered the competition, only 2 to come in, and they're all on pretty much the same weight. Which way are these medals going to go?
Well, it puts pressure on Ferdi Hardal, doesn't it, of Turkey. He's posted 160. These guys are, as it were, getting kilos in the clubhouse. So it means that, you know, the pressure goes on him not to make any mistakes. And here's the man who lies 4th in the clean and jerk, 4th in the overall. 2 Georgians at the moment in the first 4 places. Ramini.
This is Stilian Grodseff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Stilian, I beg your pardon.
And he's gone dizzy by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely had.
Oh, hello, hamstring. Bit of cramp there. I think you mentioned earlier, did you not, that he's come down a category? If that's correct, then the loss of body weight will be a good explanation as to why he might be cramping. Yeah, that was the wrong graphic as he came onto the platform.
Yeah.
It's the Bulgarian lifter.
Джон Мау, Германия. Вторая попытка. Вес штанги 156.
Look at that bar, way too long on the shoulders. It's there long because he's trying to regain his vision and his focus. It's not much fun when you start blacking out.
He's come down from 67 kilos to 61. As you say, he would have trained heavier than 61 anyway.
Yeah, but that's a good 10% of your body weight. I mean, that's a considerable percentage. And whilst training and still trying to maintain strength. You know, at most I came down 7.5 kilos for the Olympic Games, and it's hard. It's really hard. It takes its toll on the body.
And interesting, Ferdy Hardal has dropped 3 kilos to 157 to come in. So he posted 160, but he's seen the way things are going. Now, unless, of course, Michaela, his warm-up has not gone too well.
I'm just trying to do the maths on the board. I think I need my eyes testing, you know. This scoreboard is getting smaller and smaller. But, do you know, I think he's just wanting to get one in. Let's get one in on this one and be in the competition. Is he 4th place? He's down.
Yeah, well,
God,
I think
it's impossible to do the maths when they're all on the same weights.
Well, this will be 287. That it would put him within 3 kilos of the Georgian Mishvelidze, and then they would both have 2 attempts left. But remember, Mishvelidze at the halfway stage in the snatch, 135. Grodseff had 136. There was only a kilo between them, so it is between those two, nip and tuck. But Hardal, he was 6 kilos off the lead. So 130 plus 157 takes him to 287, up into silver medal overall and leading the clean and jerk. So I think you were right, Michaela. I think this was a recognition. Let's get one in and make sure we've got a baseline total to fight from.
A very straight back leg, pulls the hips behind the bar. Nonetheless, he's powerful enough to generate enough height to get the bar nice and high. But if he's going to miss it, it's going to be forwards.
4 kilos between Mishvelidze, Hardal and Lapsev, the defending champion at the moment. Now, Grodseff, got to make this. Got to make this. This is a must.
Steady, steady, steady on the recovery. Nice bit of ballet going on. Gymnastic beam routine there. We'll take it.
And he went up a kilo. He went up to 157, which gave him just a few more moments to recover from the dizziness.
Yeah, the reason for that 1 kilo increase wasn't because he wanted an extra kilo. He needed a bit more time. So here we see pretty good explosion. Again, the bar heavy on the shoulders. This is just a sign of a tired lifter who's lost a lot of weight. Watch this for recovery. And that's because he splits so wide to get underneath the bar.
So, Davide Ruiz, 158. So this would be a new junior European clean and jerk record. Remember, Masida's already set 1, so a little Italian battle here for supremacy in any case, but a little fight for the record. Just a little look out as to how many seconds he's got left. Well, that was an 8 kilo increase that he was going for, so significant.
A very significant. Very significant increase, David. You see here the clean is strong. The jerk was explosive and he seemed to land in a good position. Just when those hips are behind the bar, he's compensating with the shoulders. It's just too much strain on the shoulders.
This is fascinating. It really is fascinating because all the medals are up for grabs at the moment.
You wouldn't like to place a bet, would you?
Well, you know what's great? Appreciate the effort of these boys, because there's some really good recoveries from the first half. Inevitably, we have had some lifts that have been lost, but only 2 at the moment, which is respect to all of the lifters for what they've done so far. But we're now really coming down to the business end of the competition. Now, at the moment, we're thinking Jon Mao for Germany was going to come out at 158, but he's gone to 160. And no, Ferdy Herdal's not going to come out for 158 for sure.
No, his coaches are just changing the weight right now.
Exactly, yeah.
They're waiting, they're doing it last minute because they want to see what other lifters are choosing. And also by waiting, it means that should their lifter be called, they then make the change, they have the opportunity to throw it back to another lifter, potentially catch them off guards. There are tactics that go on backstage with the coaches.
You really have to be sharp and smart at this game.
Especially when it's as close as it is.
It's so easy for a coach to make an error and let their lifter down. And you have hell to pay if that happens.
Oh, you don't need to tell me about that. We had issues at the last Commonwealth Games with our Welsh coaches. Inability to read a scoreboard and know the rules.
Other coaches are available.
Yes. Well,
right.
If only the coaches practice like the lifters do.
Right, Davide Ruiz. Now, he didn't get 158, but I had a very fair and economical clean. Now, he's got to do that again. Remember, he's on his last energy resource this time.
Yes.
Yes, come on, stand still.
Oh,
stand
no.
Well, he's got the junior European record. It's up to 158. Well done to him.
159, please.
Now, of course, what that means for Davide Ruiz is that he's currently got 283 kilos, and that's 3 more than Sergio Masida. And if you're in a battle with a teammate, that counts.
What a fight to stabilise overhead. Thoroughly deserves that record. And that was full commitment. Look at this effort from start to finish. If anyone thinks weightlifting is easy, think again. If you choose this sport, you've got to be prepared to put the effort in.
And just worth emphasising, you know, we're talking about boys who weighed in at less than 61 kilos, and that was 158 kilos on the bar. So Misfalidze right at the heart of this fight for the Championship of Europe. Shota going from 155 to 159. That's a 4-kilo increase. It's what he needs in the fight for the overall gold medal. It would put him 1 kilo ahead of Stilian Grodseff. And he'd still have 1 more attempt left. He's got 2. Ferdy Hardal's got 2. Grodseff has only got 1 to play with. So is Lapsev, the defending champion.
Elbow or shoulder? There we go. That's why we don't do a squat jerk. Don't like it. Too much risk of injury. Oh.
Yeah, and you can't go down.
Fully committed to that position. I'm a bit nervous about watching this on the replay. Still got another attempt remaining.
Yeah, but it's got to be at 159.
Yeah, it was as that bar went backwards. Do you know what? I actually don't want... I'm not going to watch that now. I don't want to see him come out for a third. I really don't. I feel that's just too risky on the elbow.
$159. And I'm afraid that's the title gone.
159 kilograms.
So that failure, I'm afraid, has left Hernadz Lapsev of Belarus with a total of 286. He's got a bronze medal from the snatch phase, but nothing in the clean and jerk and nothing in the total. He's lifted 286 kilos. In 2019, that was good enough to win him the overall title, not in 2021. Now, here's a man who can't win the overall title, but it could be a spoiler for the clean and jerk. 159 on the bar, 4 kilo increase for Ramini Shamanashvili of Georgia. So this for him is all about the clean and jerk. Oh, come on, we shouldn't laugh.
No, we shouldn't laugh. It's actually just made me think of, I remember doing cleans off blocks as a lifter once, and I missed it like that. But the bar spat me right over into a somersault. Look, he's committed, just not quite fast enough. He'll be okay.
Right, very quick state of play. Stelian Grodseff, Bulgaria, leading with 293, has 1 attempt left. Shota Mishvalidze of Georgia, 290, 1 attempt left. Ferdi Hardal on 287. So that is 6 kilos down, but he has 2 attempts left. And then still alive for the clean and jerk, Sergio Masida has got 1 go. And Jon Mao,
wow,
has been waiting a long time, and this is a 5 kilo increase, 160, aspirations clear. It's the clean and jerk, which is what he's all about. Now, this would make life very interesting. Possibility of a German medal here. Good lift.
Well, there's no way.
160 kilos, Michaela.
There's no way that he's been sat down in the warm-up room since that 155. For sure, he would have done maybe 1, 2 warm-up weights just to keep the legs firing. Even if it was just the clean, he would have been doing something to stay alert and hyped up. If you sit down for this long, you're going to be all over the shop and lethargic. He wasn't lethargic, he was on fire.
Now, he's in the gold medal position for the clean and jerk, but there are 2, 4, 6 lifts still available. Now, Sergio Masida going for 160. He's been good on the clean. This is the area of concern. So it leaves him on 280 kilos for his total. Sergio Masida, he posted 285, so he's not far away.
Yeah, Joke's never got the bar to arm's length. I'd like to see from the side, doesn't move his feet wide enough. If you're tired, if you're lacking, when the weights get heavy, you've got to split to get underneath the bar.
Now, by my reckoning, if Jon Mao's going to get a medal for Germany in the clean and jerk, Grodseff, Mishvalidze and Hardal, one of them's got to miss. And this is Grodseff. Last throw of the dice, going up 3 kilos to take him to 296. He'd then be 6 kilos ahead of Mishvalidze. And ahead of Hardal, he'd be what? Oof. 9.
That's the best of the 3 right there.
Yeah, considering the first one where he was dizzy, didn't get it, that's a really good recovery. And the gauntlet's thrown down to everybody else now.
Номер 9. Шата Мишвелидзе, Грузия.
Much more aggressive lift, really drives the bar to arm's length. Position under the bar is fantastic. No messing around on the 3rd attempt. He needed that, and he's executed with precision. Well done.
Well, the situation is that Grodseff now 6 kilos. That means that Mishvelidze needs 7, and Hardal needs 8 kilos, but he's got 2 attempts left. So this is his first stepping stone. Now, this is a 4-kilo increase. So the reason he's taking this, I think, is to move up from bronze to silver, apart from going into the lead in the clean and jerk. So this may be a sensible step by Ferdi Hardal of Turkey.
He's okay, he's absolutely fine. Out the back door, there's plenty of clearance for the bar above the neck. He kept his elbows up and just rode it backwards. That's how to bail from a clean safely if it's going behind. Don't fight it. Didn't even touch him, I don't think.
Our plan B may be a little tough. Well, it is tough now.
Absolutely, the bar didn't touch him at all. See this, there's fresh air underneath that bar when he lands. He keeps the elbows up, no problem. See it from this angle. I would recommend, if that happens to you, just to turn your head sideways so you don't catch your nose.
So, in the clean and jerk, because this is fascinating, Jon Mal's got 160. He got there first, so he's still in gold. Grodseff got 160. He's in silver medal because he got there after him. There are 2 guys, Mishvelidze and Hardal. They both failed to get over 160. And Ferdal now coming out to repeat. Now, both of them are out of the clean and jerk medals. If he gets this 161, then he will go into the clean and jerk gold medal position. Jon Mal will drop to silver. Grodseff will drop to bronze. Ferdal, even with this, can't attack Grodseff, the leader of the overall competition. And no change. And Jon Mal, at the moment, stays in clean and jerk gold. Ferdi Hardal is in overall bronze. Mishvelidze is in overall silver. And he is the only man who can make a difference, really, now to the overall title chase. Well, Mikhailo, if my maths is okay, hopefully it is, he's got to take 7 kilos, which is 166. Mishvelidze, if he wants to overtake Grodseff.
My silence, my hesitation is trying to work out the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, well, he's accepted that he can't do that. So he's going for 162, and he's going to be trying to get that clean and jerk gold. Of course, if he gets this 162, he will go into the gold medal position in the clean and jerk. If he fails, Jon Mal will be the clean and jerk champion of Europe.
Oh, he's on his toes. Does he have the legs? Yes, he does. David, this is all yours.
Okay. Oh, no.
He's okay. Get his legs in the air, someone. He's all right.
So, Mishvelidze, last throw of the dice there. He ends up on 290. Stilian Grodseff of Bulgaria has won the snatch competition and the overall 2 more gold medals for Bulgaria. and is the silver medalist in the clean and jerk. We still have one lift to go once they've looked after this man, and now it'll be down to Jon Mao of Germany, who virtually got us underway, to have the last lift of the competition to try to go to 162 kilos. He actually doesn't have to take the lift if he doesn't want to, but if he does get it, it would move him up from 7th in the ranking to 6th, and it doesn't sound much, but every place counts. So Grodseff with 5 out of 6. By far the most successful athlete of the evening. So here he comes. I'm quite excited about this, Michaela.
Yeah,
He's
it's
only
good
22.
to see him coming out.
Yeah, under 23, silver medalist in 2019 at European level. He's out of the juniors now. But what a fillip this would be if he could get the clean and jerk gold.
Yeah, shame the snatch is so far down. Just needs a bit more work on that, but it's great to see. And there's more in the tank, and that's why he's coming out for this. It's nice to see a young lifter hungry to keep pushing.
I hope he makes this. It'll be a lovely way to finish. Good clean. Timing has to be perfect. How about that?
Yeah, we'll take that. He's chuffed with it. It's not going to be an overall medal, but it's a convincing gold on the clean and jerk. So well done, Jon Mao of Germany.
I'll tell you what, that's worth a beer later on, isn't it? 162 kilos for Jon Mao. I make that by 3 kilos, a new personal best, despite the fact that his coach has told me that he's done 167. Well, it doesn't matter at the moment. It's what he's done on this stage tonight. And Germany registered their first gold medal of the championships. Well done to Jon-Luc Mao of Germany. At the age of 22, becomes a European senior champion. That's a milestone for him. And there is the confirmation. And look at that, in 3rd place, Davide Ruiz with that junior European record, edging up in the clean and jerk into the bronze medal position. So 2 young men with a lot to take away from this competition. Ferdi Haldal, well, those misses in the snatch phase were expensive, and he couldn't make it up in the clean and jerk. Just too much to do. But Stilian Grodseff, the champion for Bulgaria. They had 5 gold medals before this evening's competition started. Bulgaria storming at the moment in the Europeans. This will be gold medals number 6 and 7 for him. So thoughts? I've enjoyed that, Michaela. We've had youth, we've had experience.
We've had lots of failures, we've had lots of successes. It's been a very, very mixed competition, but it was so tight right to the end. So nice to see lots of young lifters coming through the ranks, as we've seen so far across all the categories. This bodes well for the future.
So you can see there, Grodseff from Misfelidze, Hardal for Turkey taking the bronze, the defending champion of 2 years ago, only 4th. Well, we seem to have packed a lot in to the first 2 days, 5 titles, but there are 20 at stake over the whole of the championships, which goes on for 9 days. We've got 7 left. Tomorrow, we've got 2 more categories. We've got the women's 59 kilo competition and the men's 67 kilos. And in particular, tomorrow, you and me, Michaela, we're going to be looking forward to the appearance of Zoe Smith in the women's 59s.
Yes, I've had a chat with her last night. via Instagram, and she's very much looking forward. Preparations have been difficult, but she's looking to do nothing more than her best. That's all she can do. That's all any lifter can do on this stage. And we wish Zoe all the best going into tomorrow's competition.
What's the latest story on her physical condition, the back in particular?
Injuries not too bad. Obviously with COVID, training has been difficult in terms of having access to a coach and facilities.